Well, hey, it's Sunday. Check us out. We're already here. Oh, no. I'm to you now.
And I'm Dr. Michael Gross.
And we're here today because it's our Sunday to share Michael's words of wisdom. I get to be the hostess.
With the mostest. Boy, that's an old trite expression, isn't it?
Yeah, I am the hostess. I bring this to you live. And Michael channels the most amazing information. So I'm thrilled to pieces that you guys are all taking a few minutes to stop in and either watch this live or watch this as a recording. It's not going anywhere. It's always going to be up here.
That works.
Okay, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I appreciate your time. And this is what I'm going to do. Dr. Michael Gross has been in my life for, a little over 2 years. And I am so blessed that he came into my life because he has changed me in so many ways, as well as teaching me how to be more loving, more giving, and less judgmental of myself.
And let me tell you, that's really tough for her because, we were twins in a past life, fraternal twins. And the story, she kicked me out of the womb first for me to test the water. And it's still like brother and sister. You know how that is, the sibling rivalry.
Well, what's funny is that I've always wanted an older brother, and I didn't realize that I actually had one from way back.
Yes.
And when we first met, I just have to say this, when we first met, I wanted to buy his book. He is the author of The Spiritual Primer, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I wanted to meet the man who wrote the book. I had no idea the man in the book would change my life. But when I met him, I knew him from somewhere before. Didn't know exactly how, but I feel like he's always been my brother. So I'm really thrilled that we found out, we realized that we were twins in a past life. How cool is that?
Boy, was she a tattletale. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh. Well, and I always wanted a bigger brother, so I kicked him out first. Mom, take him first. But he is the author of The Spiritual Primer.
And Tio is the author of Healing the Holes in Your Soul. And that's so important, this book. It's about a book of survival. It's about a book of love and joy. It's about a book of self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem and discovery. A must read.
And this is a must read. Read this one first because this one led to this one. And this one woke me up in so many ways. There's a reason why the cover is designed like it is, and there's a reason why the whole contents are arranged the way they are, because it's a journey of self-discovery. And when you start realizing who you are, and you start elevating your self-love, self-worth, and self-esteem, it's amazing what blessings and gifts unfold in your life. It really, truly is. And on that note, Michael.
Well,
shall I introduce him?
Yeah, absolutely. Who is that masked man?
Yeah, well, he's not wearing a mask right now, but anytime we go outside, we're both, we always have to dig one out of our pockets. That's just the way it is right now. But on that note, I'm going to give you the formal introduction because this is the only thing that we ever script. Yeah. Everything else, I apologize if our camera goes funny. We have, we just run the way it runs. And we sneeze, we cough, we sometimes do things like shaking the computer. That's just who we are.
Yes.
Okay. So Dr. Michael Gross is an author, professional keynote speaker, transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he has been on a spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, spiritual counselor, and a teacher.
Yes.
Yep. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has assisted others in their personal quest for self-empowerment, helping them to create the lives that they have long sought and to bring forth their intuitive abilities. I looked for this guy a very, very long time. Had no idea I was looking for him, actually, but I knew something was missing. And to find out that we all have intuitive abilities and gifts that, I didn't learn about that in kindergarten. Nobody told me that.
Absolutely.
So on that note, I'm going back. I mean, like I've already gotten off script. See, it didn't take me long, did it?
Nope.
Okay. Michael currently teaches classes in spirituality, self-empowerment, Reiki, and other modalities. In concert with God, the true source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. He remains humble, knowing that the work that he does all comes from God, the true source. I know how humble you are because you get embarrassed. Your cheeks get pink when I talk about you.
Yes.
And he's nothing.
Getting there now.
I know I'm going to hear about that one later. But he remains humble, knowing the work he does all comes from God, the true source. He lives in Lakewood, Washington, and has just launched his nonprofit called
the International Institute of Self-Empowerment, and the director of healing spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional abuse. Right there. She's my director. I'm so proud and joyous to have her on board.
I'm
It's
thrilled
really an
to
honor.
I'm thrilled to have this opportunity to help everybody
Thank
else
you.
that's coming from the same road, same path, similar path that I have. You know, we don't even know what we're missing until we see it. We get it one day, the light bulb moment goes on, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, I get it. Thank you for turning on so many light bulbs.
I had to wear sunglasses, but it was pretty good.
You know, our topic today is someday. You know, and on that note, I'm just going to turn it all over to you, Michael, because I know you have some incredible words of wisdom to share.
Thank you. So someday is SOME day. Someday my prince will come, all those beautiful songs. But I'd like all of you to look at the word someday. And how many times it would, someday I'm going to do this, and someday I'm going to do that, 20 years later. And someday I'm going to do this, and 30 years later, someday. But that's a human nature. And we get distracted. And I thought I'd address some of the distractions. And many times we become distracted. Well, maybe there's a family emergency or someone needs help. But when the someday lasts 30 or 40 years, it means there's something you're afraid of. And what you're afraid of is not succeeding. And that's such an illusion. You know, success is, how do you define success? I can't really define it. Some people say having a lot of money, people loving you, having a lot of toys, materiality, traveling, having a large family. I mean, there's all kinds of explanations of what success is. But if you stop to think about success, it means finding yourself, finding your path, and understanding and embracing unconditional love, allowingness, and non-judgmentalness. You know that is my theme. But T.U. and I did some research, and was it 86% of souls in this world, according to this book we saw, have low self-esteem? Whoa.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. 8.5 billion people on this planet or more. Wow. Pretty incredible. What is it we don't have self-esteem? Good point. I'm glad you asked. And the reason is that we're brought up to doubt ourselves. Isn't that an interesting thought? I mean, do you doubt yourself? So think about it. Well, I don't know if I can do this, or I don't know if I can handle the new job, or I don't know if I can play tennis.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. How do you know if you don't try?
Exactly. And that's so important. But we come up with all these suppositions on someday, or we doubt ourselves. And let's say you wanted to, I don't know, play golf. And so you get up there. So the first time I went to play golf, so what do you got all these balls for? You only need one ball. You know, I'm thinking about, soccer or baseball or tennis. I found out 2,700 balls later, I'm going to the second hole.
Oh, no.
Not quite that bad. Not that bad, but I'm just exaggerating. I realized, well, you need more than one ball to play golf. And I hope you enjoy that little chuckle.
Yeah, at least you didn't have to go swim in the lake together.
No. But I just want all of you to understand that success is understood and defined on what you learn, what empowers you. And it's not the someday, it's nowday. Everything we put off in the future, we're putting off because we're distracted. But what is the real reason? And because the real reason is we don't have enough self-esteem to realize that we can learn to be successful. Isn't that interesting? Learn to become successful.
Can I also add something?
Sure.
This is something that I noticed right after I met you.
Okay.
Okay. Um, I used to procrastinate all the time. And I'm going to use this terribly embarrassing example. Okay.
Uh-oh.
uh, I have had cardboard boxes in my life. I don't know how many, and I don't know for how many years. But if it fits in the spare bedroom, I'll shove another one in there, right? And the second spare bedroom became the overflow room for more cardboard boxes because it was, oh, yeah, I'll get to it someday. I will get to it someday. I had 40, probably 40 years of my life, roughly 30, 40, stuffed in cardboard boxes
Wow.
in the two spare bedrooms. You open the door and you're like, yeah, shut the door. I'll do that someday. Okay. I met you. And I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know. I was reading your book. And the next thing you know, that someday became the day I started conquering those boxes. Today, one room is a guest room and the other room is my office. And when you're procrastinating, it was like, oh, it's just too laborious to do it. I don't want to do it today. I had so many excuses. And my other half, love him to death. He would open the door from time to time, roll his eyes, shut the door real fast, and walk away. And I would bring home another cardboard box. Well, when mom and dad birthed out, and when they birthed out, I brought home carloads of new boxes. Well, they weren't really new, and he's like, where are you going to put that? And I go, move things around, and I'd shove another box in there. And there was a time when he couldn't see the back wall of either room. Terrible, right? So I'm just saying, if you're procrastinating, why? Yeah, it was laborious, but there were some cool things in the boxes when I finally opened them. I just had to add that.
Well, you did.
Thank you for giving me my office.
Well, you're welcome. And if we understand about low self-esteem, then what is it? Where did you learn from it? Well, let's take a look at growing up. And when you're a child, you're exploring everything. One of the first words we learn is no. Not that you're loving and joyous, but no. And it's repeated so many times. Well, what are we doing as children? We're exploring, we're finding out, we're learning what's working, what isn't working, and what's this all about? And unintentionally, we learn the word no, of course.
Well, they're trying to protect us.
Exactly. Instead of saying, that's a great idea, but you can hurt yourself, or this is what it does, and be someone explaining it to us. Well, then when we do something and said, well, you should have used your head, you shouldn't have done that, you should have, shouldn't. And little by little, our self-esteem goes down, 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 down. None of it is intentional, although probably in some rare cases where some people are manipulative. Now you're thinking about someday I'm going to do this and so on and so forth. So the first rule of life is when something comes up for you to address, like too many cardboards, or like, get gas in the car tonight instead of tomorrow morning, that's simple. Like, now I'll do it tomorrow morning. What happens is there's a storm or something's going on, or there's traffic. You get stuck in traffic. You don't have much gas up in your car because you should have done it the night before. And that's part of the someday. Our life is always filled, not with challenges, although you could use that word. It's filled with new experiences. Therefore, if you understand what new experiences are, you have to test it and try it. It's as simple as going out and playing golf or skiing or swimming or going to a new restaurant or trying a new dish that you made for dinner or speaking to new friends. It's really simple. But as human beings, we got to make a big deal about it. Well, I'm going to go to dinner. Well, what if I don't like the food? Well, what if they don't prepare it right? Well, I'm going to bring some wine. Maybe I brought the wrong wine. Well, all
what
these
if
doubts
it's so
and doubts.
expensive?
Yes. Exactly. And when you think about it, wow. Look at all the things we throw out of doubt, 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 doubt. The only reason you're throwing it out is your self-esteem is low because you want to be accepted. Now, I used to host dinner parties, every 2 months, and I have 8 to 10 people, maybe a few less. But with the COVID, things have changed. And I would spend several $100s and make sure the food was perfect. Knew everybody's wine, what they could eat and couldn't eat, if they were lactose intolerant or the gluten or maybe whatever. Knew all that stuff.
You're such a great host.
Well, thank you. My mother did a good job on
You
me.
never invite me over. No, I'm kidding.
Do I know you?
I'm kidding.
And so with all that going on, it changed over COVID. I never felt like if they didn't like it, they didn't like it. I never hurt my feeling. Never did. Because how did I make it? Out of love and did 100% the way I could. I remember I made a dish with beautiful sirloin tips, actually. And I put mushrooms in it. And this person said, well, I don't like mushrooms. I said, okay, pick out the mushrooms. That was it. Actually, the sirloin I used was so tender, you cut it with a butter knife.
Wow.
There's a way to do all that stuff. But what's more importantly is I was not offended. I did what I did. And if they don't like mushrooms, never told me. I didn't know that. I try to accommodate people. I'm good with it. Next time they come over, I'll make a dish with mushrooms without. I remember many times that souls would come over and they go, well, I don't like onions in my potato salad. I don't like this. So I'd make a separate bowl. And I had a lot of fun for John Doe only, and everybody would laugh. But they knew that's the way he was and never took it seriously. So one of the things we need to understand is you have to have confidence. Confidence goes with anti-someday and anti-lowest self-esteem. Confidence is that you're doing everything perfectly. Remember, we talked about perfection means ever growing more perfect. So you're learning more and more. And that's what is so important. Of course, we have the snobs in life, where they won't touch certain things. For their wine, they have to have the certain kind of goblets. And I understand why, because it lets it breathe and so on. But the most important thing is that when you are doing something, don't put off tomorrow what you should do today. And that is so important. And we learn from each other, observe and learn, because that someday becomes a shorter day till finally you take action. I observe people, watch the things they do, and I learn from them. When I was in sales and marketing, I had this cliche, I'm only as smart as my customers make me. And that's so great. I always said, don't tell me what I'm doing right, because I know what I'm doing right. It's working. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, so I will learn something. That's confidence. That's high self-esteem. How many people do you know when you make a suggestion, they defend their decision to the nth degree?
Yeah.
Even if it's wrong, they will defend it. On the other hand, when somebody says something to me, I think about what they're saying. Does it apply to me? And I would say probably 98, 99% of the time it does. And I listen and I say thank you. And I don't defend myself because I learned something new and say thank you for showing or teaching me something new. As a spiritual teacher, one of my favorite expressions are, sometimes I'm the teacher and you are the student. And sometimes you're the teacher and I'm the student. Because in life, we trade roles all the time. We are leaders, we're followers, we're leaders and followers. And when I say followers, I mean you're not stuck in a path of being sheep, of doing the same thing over and over again. But if someone said, well, Michael, instead of taking I-5, take 167, then I follow their instructions and I got there faster. I followed, but I learned something new. I had enough self-worth and self-esteem to know that maybe they know a better way. And that's how I learned it. Of course, then you can do what I do. You get lost and you take a new route and eventually you learn it and you go, should have done it the other way, but I learned something new.
Don't miss your exit, right?
Exactly, which I've done.
Yeah,
Talking on the phone just recently, I was meeting to you and a whole bunch of authors, and I missed the exit and was a little late, but they were very condescending and loving and didn't hold it against me too long if they threw 4 chairs at me.
No. No, we figured he'd eventually show up. but along that line, it's not a criticism when someone makes a suggestion. And I think one of the things that for me, because I came from a lot of low self-esteem, was that when someone would give me a healthy suggestion, I took it as a horrible criticism. What, you think I'm stupid? Right? And, to be able to just recognize that and say, thank you for, thank you, I didn't know that. Thank you for the information, and incorporate that into whatever it is you're doing down the road. People aren't so quick to judge as we think they are. I think a lot of people are giving and caring souls that want to offer assistance. And we put up that, like, don't do that. Don't tell me, I know. Well, we don't know everything.
Nope.
I don't know everything, and I know that, and I don't mind admitting it. Teach me. That's why I hang out with him. No, but really, seriously, and it happens in our lives in a lot of different ways, that we don't know what we don't know until someone opens their mouth and informs us.
Exactly. There's an old cliche. You don't know that you don't know. You know that you don't know. Finally, you know that you know. And if you understand that, I know it's kind of confusing.
Huh?
But what most important thing is in life is an experience, and treasure that experience. And don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. I know the trite expression. How much time have we got?
We've got a little bit of time. We've got about 7 minutes.
Okay. I just want to check the time. In our life, everything is an experience. Every experience is empowering. Every empowerment brings about success and self-worth. And there's an old thing in that if you want to learn something, go to the most successful person in that field that you can find or close to it, and ask them if they wouldn't mind sharing with them. And every successful person I've ever met always wants to share their knowledge.
Do you think Oprah will take my call?
Why not? And then, when people ask me something that I know a lot about, I try to share it with them. If they're open, I share it with them. Because in life, we're all planting seeds that are going to nurture and grow tall and strong. And that someday is now today, this moment in your life. Affirm at this moment that you're going to change. Affirm at this moment that your soul is talking to you and saying, this is the direction you want to take. And then take the leap of faith, which is so important. My motto, one of mine, you don't know where you're going, you can't get lost. And I followed that probably 85, 90% of the time. And I've always ended up beautifully, joyous, happily, and successful. When I force a certain situation, try to make it happen, I end up in deep doo-doo. That's the lesson we all have to learn sometimes. But if you listen to that, and how can you tell whether it's the ego or it's your soul? Good question. I'm glad you asked that to you.
Good question, Michael. I was going to ask you.
Well,
You
thank
just
you.
read my mind.
Well, thank you for telling me. When is your ego? It justifies everything. Like, buy this green hat. The price is right. It's going to look good on you. It's on sale. You need more green hats. Just an example. When it's the soul, your intuition, you walk by, buy the green hat. That's it. Because your soul does not have to justify anything. It is pure and desires for you to be joyous and happy. Where the ego is self-satisfying and has to give a reason or an excuse for everything. Whether it's the hat, a dress, a car, a person, whatever. That's one of the items we need to work on. Because part of listening to the soul is self-worth and confidence to know it's right. Sometimes when I used to live on a 40-acre farm, we had horses, and chickens, and pigs, and cattle, and we're about 40, 45 minutes away from a hardware store. And I would go shopping because I had to pick up some things, and I would hear, sense, buy this, buy that. And I go, okay, why would I do that? I remember there's one tool I bought to repair screens. Sat in the house for almost a year. And that one day I needed it right away. Because I was listening to my soul urge. what I'm supposed to do. Now, granted, a year is a long time for it to sit aside, but more importantly, it saved someone's life, made them whole again. So, what is your life about right now? It's all about eliminating some days to make it nowadays. That's what it's all about. How's our time?
We should start wrapping it up.
All right. Everyone, what I want you to understand is the only limitations on someday are self-imposed. The only limitations are doing it now is removing those limitations. Remember, there's no yesterday, there's no tomorrow, there's only now and the forevermore. That was given to me by one of my former students who had birthed out of his body, Howard Gossi. Thank you, Howard. Words of wisdom you shared was wonderful. Thank you. And that, we want to talk about something really, really important while we got a few minutes left.
We want to thank everybody too.
Absolutely.
But we'll thank them after because you have something really important to
Really important.
Really important to share. So I'm going to let you keep on going.
All right.
You're welcome.
This is really important. And every Tuesday night from 6:30 to 7:30,
Oh, sorry, brother.
I host what is called a call-in. And they've named it, everybody named it Michael's Angels.
Angels. Yep.
Not Charlie's Angels, Michael's Angels. And it's all about learning about spirituality and questions you have. And I attempt to answer all your questions, and I deliver a 10-minute message. Been going on for several years now. And there are over 200.
I think there's, 205, 206. I don't really know exactly, but a lot.
All right.
Jam-packed full of golden nuggets. Every single one of them.
How can they tune into that? It's called freeconference.com.
Okay. Do you want the Tuesday call-in number first?
Well, I'm telling them they don't have to be on Zoom. It's freeconferencecall.com. And the number is?
Okay. The number to dial in to the 6:30 p.m. Michael's Angels call-in is 202-926-1059, and the access code?
The access code is 125446 pound.
He practices this so well. Okay, one more time. That number is 202-926-1059.
And the access code is 125446 pound.
I'll make sure I put those. He's going to make me choke on my own stuff. Okay. I'm going to make sure I put all those numbers in the comments below because the recorded call is there 24/7. You can dial into this one anytime. And the number is 434-300-4170. And the access code is
125446 pound.
One more time, that number, 434-300-4170, and the access code?
The access code is 125446 pound.
Okay, one more time. You want to talk about the every second Saturday?
Yes, every second Saturday. We have what I call a mass consciousness healing. It's the second Saturday of every month, and it goes from roughly 9:55 Pacific time to 11:01 Pacific time, just a shade over an hour. And what we do, we all get together and send healing to Mother Earth, to the mass consciousness on this planet, the animal, mineral, and vegetable kingdom, and all the souls. And invite all of you, please be with us, because we are the solution. We are making the difference, and because we are unlimited. And what's that number?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Had to just say that. It's 202-926-1059. Michael?
It's the same as the call-in number on Tuesday night, and it's 125446 pound.
Okay, one more time. You're not going to have any damage in there, are you? Shaking like that?
No, it's just the rattling gets me a little bit.
Okay, the number again is 202-926-1059. 1059. And one more time, the
And the
access
access
code.
code is 125446
pound.
You got it.
Well, we are twins.
Yes, we are.
All right. So on that note, we want to give everyone one more look at the books. And thank you all for coming on and listening to our Michael's powerful message and a little bit of our antics. Okay. Michael has a powerful book called The Spiritual Primer. And Michael, you have another book coming out soon too.
Yes,
you want to
the
tell
12 manifestation protocols. And that'll be out either late winter or early spring. It's a must read. It's incredible. I've taught this course twice and I'll be teaching it again next spring. And I would like to say to all of you, since heaven forbid you got to do your taxes, the International Institute of Self-Empowerment is a 501c nonprofit. And if you want to change children, men, and women's lives,
I know you said change children. Sorry.
Change their lives and re-empower them to give them self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. Please keep us in mind.
No, it's serious. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I heard it differently.
That's all right. I'll get even. Ma! She's picking on me. Anyway.
Well, he's taught me it's okay to laugh and smile and
Exactly.
just enjoy life again. And I had stopped laughing. And so now the jokes kind of roll out totally unexpected.
It's great. I love it. And everybody, this book is so powerful. You know how I feel about it. And she's an amazing woman. Healing the holes in your souls. She is great. And it's a story of survival and self-esteem. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. Do you want to add anything?
I do.
Okay.
Michael says what we think we create, and what we create we experience. And I know that it's easy to go ahead and start thinking things that, are not always positive. It's easy in our world today where the negativity, you walk past the news, you hear it on you see it on the internet, you hear it on the radio, whatever. And it's easy to get wrapped into negativity. But you always have a choice, whether you're going to stay in the negative mindset or you're going to choose love and be positive. And I really honestly believe that we will continue doing these for as long as we can, because we want to spread the seeds of love. We really need to do that. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Invite your friends. Truly invite your friends, because the greatest gift you could give someone else is the gift of unconditional love.
Words of wisdom. Thank you so much for sharing. There she is. She's becoming the teacher again. That's wonderful. We're all students of what she has mentioned. So everyone, just know in the coming weeks and months, we have lots of information to share. We're working on making it more fun, more exciting, and more self-empowering. Everyone have a great week. Just know you're never alone and that you're always unconditionally loved.
Absolutely.
And speaking on behalf of Tia and myself, know we love you because you are unlimited. Namaste.
Take care.